Amber, how are we doing today?
Hey, good. How are you?
Just shamelessly refreshing the election results.
Same, same. I think you're not alone.
Luckily, CNN's auto refreshes itself every 10 seconds, so it's a big plus.
Yeah.
Hooray for Ajax, maybe?
Yeah, I keep flipping through different sites to see who has the most up-to-date information. But
I think it's going to be a while until there's an actual
yeah,
result, but
doesn't stop me from looking, I guess.
nope.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay, we'll just wait a couple more minutes and see if anybody else is going to attend.
yeah, I know Fami had an appointment. I don't know if he'll be back in time for this.
Okay, no problem. And Kyle?
He is working on some support escalations every 2 weeks. Like we have like support duty. So he's on support duty this week and it's been really
Ah,
like I was on it the last 2 weeks and that was why I was kind of less present, but it's been really intense.
yeah,
These last
I
yeah.
could have to disappear at any moment because I'm also on call right now. But luckily, this is my last on call rotation for the year, so that's a big plus.
That's nice. Yeah.
How do y'all handle your on call rotations? Do you have like a rotation between your developers?
Yeah. So we yeah, so there's basically like how many of us are on the team now? About 4 or 5 of us on the team and every we take 2 weeks and then we just rotate through all of us.
Okay, got it.
And so those 2 weeks were just totally focused on support issues, customer issues, and any sort of backlog bugs that we can work through. It's not like we're doing like, I mean, we have support engineers, but we're working on any escalations they bring to our attention, like so the
I
really
understand.
bigger ones. Yeah.
How many engineers do y'all have?
So we did have 5, but one just announced today he was leaving, which made us really sad. But
Oh man.
yeah. He's a great engineer. But so there's 5 of us now until he leaves, and there'll be 4 of us. So
Wait, not for your total product.
for so we have lots of agents, and our team is the PHP, C,
Yeah.
and Go team. So that's like, yeah,
Uh,
that's actually 6 people because there's one person for the Go portion right now. But yeah, there's a lot more for like the other agents like Java and JavaScript and Python and Ruby and all of those.
I
And then
understand.
there's a lot more for the UI, and it's pretty big. Yeah.
Got it. That's what I was like. I'm pretty sure y'all have more than 5 engineers at your company. That'd be
Yeah,
pretty
no.
impressive.
I'm thinking of, yeah, our little team.
That's good. Yeah, our on-call rotation's kind of fun. We have I'm on the SRE team at Mailchimp. We have 11 engineers on our team, and we do two separate on-call rotations in our team. We have one that's from 9 to 5 and one that's overnight. The 9 to 5 one is weekly, and the 1 to 5 one we rotate every 2 days. So then we played around with that a lot, and we determined that we didn't that having those like you were just talking about those 2 week slogs is just sucky. But
So yeah, we'll see.
our
Sometimes
product,
because it's just cyclical, right? Sometimes it can be totally handleable, and sometimes it's just like all the customers are really big and they want it all right away. And why
yeah,
aren't we
yeah,
fixing it yet? Yeah. So just
totally, yeah.
depends.
We
Yeah.
have I actually have a Slack tag in Mailchimp Slack called Bob the Unlucky because I had like a disproportionate amount of overnight pages on my team. Is like I had something like 50 or 60 in a year, and the next highest person had like 4. It was like every time I went on call, something bad happened. It was like you couldn't
They
even
should
make
just
this
not
up.
put you
And
on call anymore, and then the
that's
badness
what I
wouldn't happen.
that's what I said. People didn't seem to take too kindly to that, but All right, well, I guess we can get going with our discussion today. So the one thing that I needed to make sure that I talked about today was the maintainers are doing a user researching and dog fooding guide. So there, I opened an issue for this. It is, let me pull it up. Issue number 206. And so issue number 206 talks about dog fooding and end user research. It's basically a Google Doc that somebody can fill out that talks about like going through a very, very basic implementation of our repository and like making notes about where things are sticky, making notes about where things are difficult to implement or don't work or whatever. And I think that that would be useful feedback to get from somebody. And this would be an excellent thing to get from a new contributor. So I tagged as a new contributor in a small thing. So I think that that will be really nice when we can get somebody to look at that. The other things that I had to talk about, Riddick opened a PR for the OTLP exporter. It's working through last minute things with code coverage. Amber, I don't know how strongly you feel about this. Decreasing and increasing code coverage as a blocker for a PR. I have like sort of mixed feelings about this. My positive feelings are like if we can avoid reducing code coverage during PR merges, I think that's a good thing. But I also like worry about momentum and like velocity and momentum for a PR if the implementer like has to fix them. So do you have strong feelings on that?
I like that the code coverage is there. Maybe we can think about if it decreases it by a certain percentage, it's okay. But I think, yeah, I mean, if it decreases, that means there hasn't been enough tests. So that's also a concern because we want to make sure things are well tested before they go in. So I think it's a fine line there. Like maybe you can have some percentage metric where you say if it's within this percentage, then it shouldn't be a blocker, but.
Yeah, and I also think at least from my perspective, it also depends on the PR too. Like some things are inherently a lot more difficult to test. I don't think this particular PR is incredibly difficult to test, but maybe, I don't know, maybe we should come up with the long-term strategy for that. I'm gonna noodle on that. Maybe we can talk about that again next week when we have more people here, because I think that's something that's worth bringing up so that we have like a common convention there, because like is like this decreases by 2.5%. This decreases code coverage by 2.5%. Is that a big deal? Not right now, but then if you do that for every PR, then it gets to be like an exponential 50% code coverage sort of deal rather than where we are. We've worked so hard now. I feel like the code coverage tool has a pretty spectacular table to tell you where you're missing coverage. So I think that maybe I should let Riddick know, like, hey, we would like this to have full code coverage. Please ask questions if you have them, so that we can make sure that we get enough code coverage. Because I'm not certain if this is I don't know how to write the other test code. Yeah, sure thing, Riddick. I'm not sure if it's I don't know how to write these tests, or I don't think that they're pertinent to the code that I wrote or whatever. So that's good. I'm glad that we're I feel like we're on the same page there. The other things that have gone through this week, your PR for the probability sampler. Woo, that was exciting. That's a big one. And then we also had some PHP Stan and SOM implementations, which I think are going to be really helpful for code coverage and quality in the future.
Yeah, I saw that go in.
I'd heard of both of them, but I hadn't used, like, MailChimp doesn't yet use them in production, so I haven't had to mess with these too much. But have you do y'all have either of these on your code in at your company?
No, we don't use either of those tools.
Yeah, they seem to be neat tools. It's just like, so now we have tests, unit and integration tests, PHP Stan, SOM, PHP unit, or what I mean, we have, and then they're working on mutation testing. So I think that after that, we're gonna be pretty well covered from a code coverage perspective, which is always something I like to encourage, especially with open source tooling.
Yeah.
Make it,
And it's good
make it,
that it got in fairly early. So as we put in more stuff, it will just automatically already be tested by that. So that was good that he put that in.
yep, I agree. Okay, cool. Do you have something to, do you have a next task to work on?
I was going to look at the project board. Oh, and there was one thing I wanted to say about the project board. The is remote function, even though it's closed, it's still showing in the project board in the pending review column.
I'm looking, let me see. Finish the is remote. Okay, got it. Yeah, I just
I
moved that to
think
done.
yeah,
Okay, cool. No
thanks.
problem.
And then,
Alright.
yeah, I'll look and see. I'll probably do one of these in the to-dos.
The
I'll look at
associating
them.
expands with their tracer provider or the exporter factory.
Yeah, I'll look at those and
Okay.
see which one to start next.
I would say the spans with their tracer provider over the exporter factory, because I know Delaware was talking about doing that second one, and I think he's the one that had the most context. So I'll follow
Yeah.
up with him to see what his status is on that one.
That's okay. I was actually thinking of starting the trace provider first, so I can just start with that one and then
Okay, cool. I will.
we can go from there.
I'll assign this to you just so that
Okay.
nobody else takes it. And then if you decide that you don't want to work on that, if you want to work on something else, let me know. I'll change it. Your name never shows up in GitHub. I'm not really sure why that is. I have to actually tag, like, I have to make a comment with your name on it, and then your assignee comes up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Should I make a comment on it? Does that make it easier if I comment on it?
I already did, I think. But yeah,
okay.
actually, yeah, maybe that's interesting. I just tried to do the assignees again. Yeah, see if you make a comment on it, if I can then assign it to you. That
Yeah,
feels really
one
wrong.
second, let me pull it open.
Here, I'll paste it in the Zoom chat.
Okay.
I'll work on this. Yeah. Yeah, that's weird that I've definitely assigned you to stuff before, and I'm typing your name correctly.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I
whatever.
always made a comment before, so if that's the BKM, then
People, if I know that you're working on it, how about that?
but not everyone else does. That was the issue.
Yeah, now they do, I guess. Let's see. Yeah. No, let me try and hard refresh the page. Maybe it's something so silly with cookies or cache or something. ZS. There you go. Oh, after a hard refresh, sure enough, I can assign it to you. That's really goofy.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, it sounds like you guys on the work. I'm gonna take some of the issues too from the backlog and try and prioritize them. It's tough for me to do a lot of these because I don't have anybody that can review them for me, but maybe that shouldn't preclude me from working on them. Trying to help out.
Is it possible to get them in the project boards too? Because the issues list is getting kind of long, and some of them it's hard to tell. Are they done or not?
Which ones? Here, maybe I'll share. How about this? I'll share my screen with you on the issues tab. Maybe we can walk through it really quick. You're talking about this. You're talking about this is getting long.
I can't see it yet.
What do you see?
Sand dune.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Sand. So which one were you? Which you were asking? What were you asking about?
I guess I was wondering about like I had been looking at these. Oh, isn't this implement should sample decision as a function of trace ID? Isn't that one done?
Closed. What's that? Which one are you talking about?
The implement should sample as a function of, yeah. Is that one done already? I thought that's what
oh yes. I think that this issue is just never closed. How about that?
Yeah, so
All right, well, those are closed. And then let's go back
so
and
that's what I
look
was wondering,
into.
for like source of truth on what issues need to be worked on. Should we look in the issues or in the project board?
Totally in the project board. But I think that this should be, let's see, associate spans with their tracer provider. That's the one that you said you were just gonna work on.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then, yeah, I think all the rest of these above here, like I should probably close these old alpha 0.2 requirements. Those are just like dangling things that will probably never hit because we're gonna probably go straight to like a 0.6 or like one of the more recent versions. But we
Okay.
haven't made that decision yet, so I guess I'll just close those so that this board is a little bit clean. The issues board is a little bit cleaner. So I'm gonna do that, and then let's do this for all of them. So that should clean up the issues board quite a bit, I think, just to
Yeah.
make things a little bit cleaner.
Thanks, Bob.
No problem. Just happy to. I'm really thankful that y'all are helping out with this. It's nice to have some more people working. We've had like momentum swings up and down and up and down. I'd really like to just continue to push forward, but sometimes it's tough to get people engaged, especially on stuff like this. So
Yeah.
a cross section of people that can and are willing to work on this is 0. Close to it. All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up today, Amber or Riddick?
Yeah, not right now.
Okay, cool. Well, then I guess we'll see y'all next week.
All right. See you guys.